Welcome back to Reviewed. My name's Hunter, and today we have a really cool product that honestly not too many people have. That's the Apple Vision Pro. So shout out to my friend Brian who purchased this pretty close to when it came out, a couple months off, and he's letting us borrow it to review here on the channel. Super cool product, one of a kind. They don't have too many out there floating around, and yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. All right, so here we have the Apple Vision case. I'll go ahead and open it. We'll get the full experience. All right, so it does look kind of like an astronaut backpack. I think it's pretty cool. The worst part about this material is, as you can see here, super wrinkly, but it still does look quite cool. And opening it up, here we have the battery pack that you carry around with you, USB-C charging. This is not detachable, which is kind of a bummer. The way that you can use it is you plug in a Type-C and plug that into the wall and it'll continuously give power, but you cannot unplug this and like hot swap batteries, which is kind of a bummer, but that's all right. Off to the side. And here we have our other accessories. So we have the one and only Apple cloth here that is quite expensive, but hey, you know what? It gets the job done really well. And we also have the power brick to charge the battery as well. Again, also the same material, feels like an astronaut type of bag, which is pretty cool. So for this video, I went ahead and opted for the very stereotypical headset strap here. As you can see, it's got the dial. It's really iconic. They definitely did some innovation here on this fabric piece here. It's really cool how it works. Honestly, this product is very innovative in a lot of ways, but not very like consumer friendly maybe. Not very practical, maybe that's the word I would use. It's not a very practical device, but it is really cool. So opening it up, here it is, the ski goggles themselves. So there is this piece right here, which is magnetic. It comes off. It is specifically scanned for the wearer, so this isn't super fun to give to guests, so this doesn't quite fit on my face perfectly like it does for my friend Brian, which is really not that big of a deal. This piece is also magnetic here, which is cool, so you can replace that if you would like. Here at the top, we do have two buttons. So we have the digital crown and we have this button, which does a bunch of different things as you interact with it. Looking at the bottom, we have two cameras here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 external cameras that I can visibly see. There might be less. I can't tell if these two are cameras, but there are cameras that are visible. And once I cut it on, you'll see it's kind of hard to see all of this once it's on because you get kind of mesmerized by the screen. Here we have the two speakers as well. Has great audio. Everything about this is great. It's expensive, but it is great. So the way that you cut it on is you take this cable and then you just twist it in like that and it's on. So as you can see right there, that's one of my biggest complaints about this. This magnet, which is really cool, it comes off so often. This piece just pops right off every time I go to grab it, and this thing feels so fragile. I'm kind of scared to touch it a lot of times. As you can maybe see there, the Apple logo is coming on, very subtle. All right, let's go ahead and put this on and get into some of the more practical things about this. All right, we don't want that like that. All right, so now that I'm in here, the first thing to know is the eye tracking is maybe the most magical thing about this. It just works, right? All right, so now I've got the screen recording, so you should be able to see the video of what I see here overlaid. So first off, coming on, the actual quality here of like of the apps and stuff that I see are super sharp. And as you can see here, I'm just looking at things and it knows what I want to do. My hand can be over here, boom, immediately opens, just like that. I actually don't want to open that, but anyway, so you get the idea. Kind of going through here, they've got different environments. This is something that's really cool. Let's go ahead and go to Yosemite. That's what this digital crown here is for. Now I can slowly bring myself into Yosemite, just like that. Now here's my hand, nice cutout. It's pretty good, as you can tell. It is a little bit flaky maybe, but it does feel kind of like I'm just sitting here staring at Yosemite mountains, and I could just do this for hours. I'm not going to, because that would be a really boring video, but you get the idea. And you just now saw how it faded back into the world here. Kind of looking at stuff like my phone here. Hopefully you can see how the image quality looks coming through. Obviously these are still cameras, so it's not true pass-through. So there is like some graininess, especially where it's not super bright, but like where it's evenly lit, it's pretty good. I could easily, you know, make a text if I wanted, stuff like that. That's something that is also really good, is the pass-through. After wearing a Quest 3, which is what I had previously, until I got rid of it, honestly, the pass-through, I wouldn't say this pass-through is $3,500 or $3,000 better, you know, like it is much better. I would much prefer to wear this, and I could actually do work in this much longer than the Quest 3, but I wouldn't say that it's, yeah, I don't think it's $3,000 better, maybe $1,000, but I don't know. That to me isn't the best use of my money, but you know, to certain people out there, this is a really cool product that, you know, maybe you would want to get. I think it's really something for an early adopter or someone like that who's just really into cool products, things that, you know, not everyone's gonna have. And this is one of those things. Only like 200 or 300,000 of these are out in the world, which is a very few amount compared to iPhones, which sell like 400 million every year or something crazy like that. So, you know, this is a really cool product, and I'm just going to continue to say that this is a really cool product. It's also a very expensive product, so take that with what you will. Kind of looking at some more things here. As you can tell, honestly, in terms of native apps, there's not a ton of them, and that's kind of the issue as well, is there's not like a killer app that's like, oh, I've got to have Apple Vision Pro for that app. Now, connecting it to your MacBook is really flawless. All you do is you kind of look at it, and there's a little connect above the monitor or above your laptop, and it just works like that. Mine's not going to do that because this is a different Apple account signed in, but it still does work really flawlessly. I've done it with my friend's laptop, with Brian's laptop, and I could see that being something you want to use, especially with Apple Vision OS 2, where you can have a big long screen. That's something that is pretty cool. But again, I don't know if it's $3,500 worth of cool, but it could be. It's not up for me to decide. For me, I personally wouldn't do it, but that's okay again. So one thing that I remember when this thing first came out was people complained about like how heavy it was compared to like a Quest headset, and it is much heavier than my Quest headset, but honestly, that doesn't really bother me too much. I'm not going to be wearing this thing for 8 hours at a time, maybe 2 hours max to watch a movie, something like that. And so it doesn't really bother me that this happens to be made out of pure aluminum and that it is heavy. It's glass, because it also feels premium. Like, if I'm gonna spend $3,500 on something, I kind of want it to feel like $3,500, and this definitely feels that, especially like the whole package, which I know is more than $3,500, but the headset itself is, and it really does feel very premium, very high quality, very much like a designer piece of art, which fits the Apple aesthetic, so that all makes sense. A couple videos ago, I actually had a similar product that was not nearly as functional. The Apple Vision Pro does have an M2 chip in it, so it's honestly kind of like a computer. You can do most things you would want. The M chips are just so powerful as it is. Granted, this is not running like Mac OS, so you're limited to the apps. But you know, if they had like a specific app that you wanted that was a productivity app, it's gonna run it, no problem. Super powerful, quick to run. There are a bunch of other things I could get into. Now I'm on the moon. Whoa, check that out. I could get into like the personas. That's kind of weird, but I don't know. I don't have the persona again because I'm borrowing this device. I've been on a FaceTime call with the persona, and it's a little bit creepy, I'm not gonna lie. So if that's something that is going to interest you, I would check out another video specifically about that. And honestly, yeah, I think I just keep coming back to this is a really cool product, but I just don't know if it's worth the money. Again, as a first gen product, it is really cool to purchase something like that. Like, I don't know if I would personally buy one myself. Now, what would get me to buy one is if they were to lose a couple of the features. So maybe they do make it plastic and less glass. Use some plastic, maybe use a little bit less expensive materials. And if they could get it down to like, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500, something like that, then I think that for me would be the price range I'd be comfortable with buying something like this. They would definitely have to lose some of the features, and I understand that, but I feel like to get it more mainstream, they're obviously working on something that wouldn't be an Apple Vision Pro, so maybe just an Apple Vision. But we shall see what they do. Hopefully they'll come up with something in the future here, not too long. Maybe at DubDub we'll see something. Maybe we won't, who knows. But hopefully we will see something about the Apple Vision or the Apple Vision Pro 2. And hopefully it will be consumer friendly in terms of purchasing. Maybe it'll become more mainstream that way if they could get it a little bit smaller, especially with Meta and what they're doing over there with their products in terms of AR stuff. I don't know. It's an interesting future that we're moving towards with spatial computing, with AR, VR type glasses and goggles, if you will. And honestly, I don't know if I like it or dislike it. So let me know down in the comments if you are excited for the future that we're headed to, or if you're scared, or maybe a little bit of both like me. And we'll be talking down in the comments. If you like this video, please subscribe and like, and go ahead and check out this video. I think you're going to enjoy it next, and we will see you guys next time on Reviewed.